Gooner TV, Ryan, the Mr. Arsenal podcast. Arsenal left it late in the day. What did you make of the game, mate?
Fuck it, it's Arsenal, isn't it? They love to make things hard for us, don't they? They don't put us through the mill. You know what, we got through, so I'm just thankful we got through in the end. By the skin of our teeth, hook by crook, I don't want whatever expression you want to use, we got through. That's the main thing. We could not have another Olympiacos part 2.
Yeah.
And when Ceballos made that mistake, and obviously it led to them going 2-1 up, I was like, here we go. Yep. Oh dear, 2 years in a row. Arteta's at the helm. Same things are happening. Help me, please.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair one. Like, you know, we keep making stuff hard for ourselves. And I think as long as I can remember, even under the Wenger days, the George Graham days, Arsenal have always done it in a difficult way. I don't know why we do it. But in terms of Arteta, you can't really blame him for that. That was a clear mistake by Ceballos.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what he was thinking. Why didn't he just try and header it out like for a throw-in or what? But yeah. The first one I can't really complain too much about. I mean, yeah, he's fine. He fouled him, but that happens in football. I mean, sometimes you've got to say, I mean, that free kick was an unbelievable free kick.
Oh, no, as I said in my stream that I did for the actual match itself, and there was guys, no goal did save in that.
No, not at all.
It was an unsavable shot, so it was props to the player, but at the same time, it's just like, oh, great. And that's another thing. We had the advantage, and we just sort of gave it back to Benfica, because obviously because obviously the second leg, it's the away leg. They got the ascendancy now to go and get another goal, which obviously they did, but thankfully, thank God we had Tierney to save our backside, because I was like, okay, hold up. Let's get this stream out of the way. Let's get this game over with. We're going out. Terrific. Yet again. But you know what, Tierney, that's the thing that we noticed tonight. When Tierney scores that goal to make it 2-all on the night and 3-all on aggregate, he doesn't go over like we've seen in the past with like Giroud against Bournemouth and go over and celebrate at the cameras and show off. His first instinct is like, right, get the ball, back to the half-8, we go again. And that mentality that we've obviously was installed at Celtic, we're coming through the Celtic Academy, and obviously being in the first team and the winning mentality. And that's something we've cried out for. And obviously we've all heard about the story of when he first came in, he was hard hitting and intense in the training session. He actually got balled out for it by Emery, and the players at times like, why are you being so harsh on us? Why are you tackling in training? And I'm just if it weren't for him, I don't know how. I couldn't see us coming back into it. And then when we did equalise, it was we sort of upped the ante for the next 5 minutes, and we sort of put foot together and think, okay, it was like suddenly they thought, oh, the away goals don't count because it's both neutral venues. It's like they've forgotten the rules. And then obviously, Saka.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think you're totally right with Kieran Tierney. I mean, to me, that's a captain. You know, I mean, as much as I love Aubameyang, that's a captain. That's what a captain does. And you know, he gets it. That's what I like about him. You know, he's proper old school. He's not just like, oh well, we lost today. Like, no, he gets it. Like he dies and bleeds for that shirt. You know. I think you were just going to kind of mention the guy that I don't think any of us can stop talking about at the moment. This Bukayo Saka. He just gets better every single game, doesn't he? I mean, he's 19 years old. And I was just saying on the last fan cam, if he would have been Spanish or Brazilian or French, and we'd have got him off like Real Madrid's, reserves, people would be raving about him and saying he's worth £70 million, wouldn't they? Oh
yeah. Well, we saw with, for example, when Guendouzi first came to Arsenal, he's probably thrown into the first team in this, that, and the other. He was having games together, or whatever. Your fan base is raving him up and going, "Oh, he's worth. We got him for X amount, so he's doing this. He's 80 mil worth." But with Saka. And even the media don't really do it. They just go, well, he's English, so yeah. And of course, we've been there with Wilshere before. We don't want to get too carried away, but at the same time, it's exciting to have someone come through the Arsenal Academy of that ilk, so young, like Tierney, believes for the club, gets what it means as an Arsenal fan himself. And you're like, you know what? You can't go wrong. Again, I always keep referring to George Graham when he came in. Yeah, he got rid of some of the experience. He did bring some players in that were unknown, but he kept with the youth. He showed faith in the youth, and we saw the reward for it with George Graham in 87, 89, in the early 90s and all that. And this is a thing that Arteta's got to get his head around. He's got to get he's got to show more, in my opinion, show more faith in this youth, because there are experienced players that are constantly getting in this team that are not just not good enough, they're just not performing to the level they should be. And the players like Smith Rowe, Saka's, Martinelli, even though he hasn't been playing a lot recently, these are the players that are stepping up when they get called upon. And Tierney, young players, are putting the experienced players, the Aubameyang's, Lacazette's of this world, Xhaka, to shame. Yeah, it is what it is. And as a professional, if I was a professional footballer in Granit Xhaka's shoes, I'd be embarrassed. A fully experienced player like him getting outshone, by kids, basically, people that haven't actually fully integrated themselves professionally into the game yet. And they're just starting out. But I love it. I love it. I mean, and also, as I've said as well this season, I'll wrap up in a sec. Obviously, since Rocky Rocastle, obviously the last player to come through the academy that got given a number 7 shirt, ever since then it's been the 7 shirt hasn't been given to an academy player, it's always been given to a player that comes in. So the pressure on Saka for that as well, to be the first player since Rocky to come through the academy, given that number 7 shirt, that's another, as an Arsenal fan, that would be a massive mental pressure you've got to deal with. And he takes us like duck to water, and I'm so happy for him and Smith and all the players.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, mate. I mean, I don't think all of them will make it, but yeah, definitely those two are definitely one for the future. Looking forward to like the summer and stuff. It's clear to me that obviously Arteta wants some players in, and we need some more players. What sort of players do you think that we need to bring in to suit Mikel Arteta's style of play and take us back to the top 4?
Right, we do need a backup left back, just because we don't know if this in our injury stuff with Tierney, and also even if the injury side of it clears up with Tierney from here on in, that all stops. He still needs a rest from time to time, so we do need a backup left back who's decent, who's good enough to slot in and you not notice that it's not Kieran playing, for example. We need a first choice right back. First, that's another one. That should be the main priority this summer in that sense. In terms of the back line itself, obviously backup left back later on down the line in the summer. Get your first choice players in first, as always saying. Get your squad sorted after you've done that. But right back, Bellerin, he isn't good enough defensively. He's not a right back. He can't defend. And even if he attacks, his crossing 9 times out of 10 is diabolical. He can't fight. Not this season, 9 times out of 10, he can't even fucking throw a ball into the pitch.
I agree, mate. I agree.
Just get a first choice right back. Cedric has to stay as a backup and obviously fight that person for the number 1 spot, if anything. We need a midfielder to go alongside Partey long term, a long term future player. A Basuma, something like that. The thing is, we don't even have to go abroad. Go to lots of Brighton for a Basuma or something like that. That will slot in, knows the Premier League, and I think will complement Partey as well. Because again, Granit Xhaka, even though they do work well together, he does make these other mistakes. He's too stiff for the Premier League. He's not mobile enough. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree, mate. He'd do better in Italy or Germany, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
With more time in the ball.
Yeah. And depending on what we do with Lacazette and Aubameyang, especially Lacazette, because he's going into the last year of his contract this summer. If he was to go, we need to go and get another striker, because I'm assuming by the way Eddie's now studying me out the team and not even getting off on the bench from the bench most of the time, like he was regularly start of the season. Maybe Arteta's sort of seen the light there. Maybe he's gone, because obviously we've got Bellingham there. So if Eddie goes, you've got Bellingham to come in. But if Lacazette goes as well, you still need to go and get someone, not an Edouard from Celtic or something like that. And again, a different option. With our strikers, they're too similar. They're too samey. Apart from Lacazette does hold up a bit more. But even then, it's
He's not tall enough or big enough, is he?
He's not. Yeah, he hasn't got the height to do what Giroud used to do. Even though he does what Giroud does, he ain't got the height to do it. And and obviously he comes too far deep and things like that. But the other strikers we've got the two same. We need what we had in the late 90s, early 2000s. The Henrys, Bergkamps, Kanu, Viator. The mixture. They're all strikers, but they had different abilities. They all gave something. They all brought something different to the team if they were to come into the squad. And it gives the other players obviously something to think about as well, how to put up their games and this, that, and the other. But I think first and foremost, the right back and centre midfield alongside Partey.
Yeah,
they're the main ones, and obviously then go and sort your squad out and the squad positions out afterwards.
Sure. Just to finish off, mate, we've got Leicester, tough game away from home on Sunday. What have we got to do to get a result there? Or will we get a result there?
I think tonight's proof we can, if we go with the right mentality. It's just defensively, we need to switch. We need to be switched on from straight. We can't do what we did tonight defensively, and as we saw against City that weekend, we need to be switched on from the second go. Be up for it. Don't switch off at all, because if we switch off, we know Vardy will score against us. We know Madison will have a pop. Harvey Barnes will give us problems, and Tielemans and things. They've got players that will give us problems if we're not on it. And I think with Partey obviously coming on the last few minutes, I think we'll see him possibly start for at least 60 to 65 minutes, just to give us that bit of a stability in our midfield, give us a bit more of a fighting chance in that game. Because, Ceballos didn't cover himself in glory, obviously, as we've touched on. I think we can get the result. And I believe, as it stands, Leicester are losing to Slavia Prague. I'm just going to check now, actually. Yeah, they're still losing 1-0 to Slavia Prague, and Slavia got the away goal, so that's good for Thomas Rosicky and his team. It's all day, as I said, it all day if we turn up on the day and picks the right 11, because he's going to have to make changes. We all know that, and the Arsenal need to get on board of that because of how close the games are together in terms of timing wise. Because obviously we're kicking off early on Sunday. It's not like we've got a late kick off on Sunday or anything like that. So literally, he's going to have to. The Smith Rose, maybe even Saka might have to need a rest. If that's the case, chill, because we've got Pepe. As long as winning doesn't start. Winning starts, we're fucked. Let's be honest. Don't even start winning. Please don't start winning. And you don't go, we got an assist tonight. Oh, we weren't that much to do really in that position. But even Tini did all the work as well. But if we turn up and don't start winning, and Partey does that, what I said, he starts and this, that, and the other. I think we'll nick it 2-1. If we win, it'll be a tight game, 2-1. But you know what? We can do that. Just as Arsenal, we do these little things when you least expect it. We pull these things out of our backsides, and we can't keep losing. We've got 11 league defeats, so we can't keep losing. Surely. And Leicester, it's that sort of time of the season as well, like last season when Leicester fell off. So you never know.